Okay, so we're going to go through the epsilon delta definition of a limit. Okay, so I've got a little schematic here, and I'll just bring up the definition. Okay, so what you'll see in the study guide is that the definition, epsilon delta definition of a function is that f of x tends to L when x tends to A, if and only if, I with two f's is if and only if, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta also greater than 0 such that the magnitude of x minus a smaller than delta implies that the magnitude of f of x minus L is smaller than epsilon. Okay, so let's go through what this actually means. Okay, so we observe this first little inequality here. Okay, so what this is saying is that for any distance within epsilon of a, okay, so if we notice a is our little input value that causes the function to tend to L, okay, and the difference between x and a, so we're any distance away from a in either direction as implied by the modulus signs, that has to be smaller than delta. Okay, so if you go over to the schematic here, this is a, okay, and you can be a plus delta away or a minus delta away. Okay, so a distance of something smaller than delta in either direction away from a, and this will correspond to another small distance epsilon away from L, okay, in either direction as well. Okay, so essentially from any non-zero distance away from the input, that non-zero distance being delta, for any non-zero distance away from the input of the function at the specified point in either direction, there is a corresponding output value within a certain range again from L, no matter how small this distance is. Okay, so we can contrast this with maybe like the graph sine. Okay, so if you were just to simply say that the definition of a limit is if a function gets closer and closer and closer to a certain value, well, we can maybe think about sine, and sine is always getting closer to 0. Fair enough, it's getting further away, then it's getting closer again, a little bit further away, and it's getting closer again. So would this mean that the limit as x tends to infinity of sine of x is 0? No, it's not. The limit is actually undefined. So this is a bit of a more rigorous definition of a limit, epsilon delta definition of a limit. Thank you very much for watching.